Um, welcome to Wake Up Well. I went away last week, but I'm here this week and I am live for Wake Up Well. This is my show that's all about sharing inspirational, educational, and uplifting content. And this week we are talking about up-leveling your video strategy. So everybody knows that video content is the future, but not only is it the future, it is the now. 80% of content that you're going to be seeing in the next 5 years is going to be video. So you need to be in the video game, whether you are an influencer, whether you are a brand, whether you have a service, a course, a class. If you are not sharing video, then you are behind the 8 ball. So today we're going to talk about how do you up-level your video strategy. And here at Well World TV, we are launching our Video Influencer Bootcamp. So my guests today are here to talk all about that. So let's bring them in. This is my technical directing capabilities. Let's see if I'm good. Ta-da! I did it. Hello. I'm also a TD. I'm not just the host. So first, it's Debra K, who of course is the founder of Well World TV, who gave me this wonderful opportunity to share my voice and my vision for creating a better world, because we share that vision. And then we have Pericic. Did I get that right? Pericic. Yep. I love that name. He is the founder, one of the founders of CoSpace, which is a really cool co-working space for professionals who are in the psychology, whether you're a consultant, a massage therapist, all sorts of different places where you don't want to have to go and spend your money to have an office every single day, but maybe you need it 3 days a week, or maybe you need it 4 or 2. You can go to CoSpace. They've got several locations. You can look them up online. KHO space, right, .com. And they're cool because it's not CoSpace with the C, it's with K. So check that out. All right, so let's get into it. And by the way, we are live. So if you are watching us, feel free to comment. If you have questions, we can answer your questions about the boot camp. So let's just jump right into this. Debra, this was your brainchild. And actually, I think Bo was sort of a brainchild of it as well. You were co-brainchilds of it. Right. So talk to me, you guys, about the why. Why did you want to start this?
Well, Bo and I are like the perfect team because, you know, he's a little more modern than I am. He knows all the technology and he keeps showing me apps and different things. I'm like, what's that? What's that? But, you know, my personality is I adapt easily. I just need to be guided down the right path. So I knew for a long time, because I had been talking to people that wanted to do video. They wanted a series. They wanted to up-level who they are and share their voice. And I kept having the same conversations with the same people and different conversations. And I was like, wow, you know, I'm not going to be able to keep this up. So I had drafted about a year ago a concept for a training program, but, you know, I was still stuck in that it needs to be professionally produced. I have to go into studio. I have to pull together my educators. And so it just sat there. And literally during the pandemic, Bo and I started to work more closely together. And he said, just launch it on Zoom. Just do it. What are you waiting for? And so literally he and I together brought this to life in under 2 weeks. And it's once it was created, it was so exciting because I was like, oh my gosh, this is our pandemic baby here. We just gave birth to our pandemic baby.
I love that. By the way, there's a message about giving birth. You know me and all my spiritual stuff, right? So there's this little bird that has been sitting on a makeshift nest outside my patio, and there's 2 little eggs, and it's been sitting there waiting to give birth to its eggs. And so this is a time, I feel like, for all of us where we're in this state of we're ready to give birth to these beautiful ideas and things that are coming out in the world. So it is now time to get things out to the world. And I've only known Bo for a few months, but Bo is like he gets things done. I love people like that when they have an idea and they just go for it and they make it happen. And so I love that. And Bo, one of the things you're going to be talking about in the boot camp is actually how important SEO and keywords. And I was on a call with you and you literally taught me within 4 minutes something so important. So talk to us a little bit about what that's going to be in the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you work in a specialized field, as a lot of your viewers do, it's really easy to get tunnel vision. You start using the vocabulary in that niche. And a lot of the times the way that providers, wellness, and therapy professionals talk about their services is not how the everyday person is searching for it. So what we do in the boot camp is we try to quantify. So for example, if you have a local business versus a national sort of reach, we quantify and we see exactly what people are looking for around your niche in your area, in the country. And then we will teach you how to look for that data and then create content based on where the demand is. Because a lot of the time, there's so many lost views that get lost out on. The content's great, it's just not being packaged and marketed the right way to the end consumer. So we're going to try to connect those dots for you. And when you do it in such a data-driven way, it takes a lot of the the guesswork out of what type of content do I need to create, because all the information's there for you. So that's really the main focus of what I'm going to bring into the boot camp, is just really how do you make sure, if you're going to spend time making these videos, because it is a lot of work, you want to make sure that you're doing the right things and you're not wasting time. So guaranteed you'll be creating videos that people are searching for. Yeah,
so people can actually find it. And actually, I think it was Debra who was having a conversation with you, and this was a few months ago, right when the COVID had started and people were staying at home. And I think you had said to Debra that the most searched term on YouTube was guided meditation. And so she said that to me, and she was basically like, get off your butt and start creating some YouTube guided meditations, because people are searching for that stuff. And so sure enough, I bowed it. I'm going to make that word for me right now. I bowed it, and I got up there and I set it up, and got the setup. I made the videos and I made it happen based on that recommendation, because had I not known that, I never would have done it. So that knowing what people are searching for is so incredibly important for your video content.
We'll break it down by platform, so we can look at YouTube separately, Instagram separately, Google. So you're really casting the right net of content across all the platforms.
And we're going to have experts across the field. It's not just going to be the three of us. We also have some other experts as well. Bo is going to be handling some of the SEO and the keyword stuff. I'm going to be handling some of the technical production stuff, as well as the most important, your mindset when it comes to this, and how to grow your brand through your mindset. And then Debra, tell me first about what you're going to be talking about in some of the modules in the course, and then also just talk to us about some of the guests as well.
Yes. So one of the key things I think my contribution and brilliance is really helping people get clarity on their platform and what their purpose and passion is. So the great news is Well World TV is attracting people that are, their gaze is elevated, they're wanting to make a difference in the world, and all they need is a little bit of clarity and understanding on how to communicate that. So, complementing what Bo was saying, so that it's actually understood by the audience that they're hoping to attract. So some of the work I'm going to put them through is getting that sense of clarity. We're going to look at all their platforms and say, is your language confusing? Is your message confusing? Because once they're clear, in fact, I talk to hosts all the time, because I'll bring somebody in and they have so many talents. Well, I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this, and I could do this. And I always say to them, okay, that's a lot of squirrels to chase. How many squirrels can you effectively chase, tackle, and be successful with? So part of what we're going to do in the first module is really narrow that focus. And then Laura, with your brilliance on helping them come up with the creativity of their title, the creativity of their sentence, and then layer that in with Bo's sort of, drilling it down further between what are people actually searching for. By the time they leave that first module and head into the second phase, they're going to be locked and loaded and ready to create some amazing videos.
Yeah.
And joining us, we have Marnie Blythe, that is her thing. She does business consulting. And so she'll be in module 1, really working with all of our hosts on exactly how to narrow their focus, where they're at, and what they need to do. We have Donald, who's the sale evangelist, because another challenge some of us face is asking for business or figuring out how to portray yourself or using sales language. Jason Palmer, who is an multi-Emmy nominated video producer, videographer, is going to walk us through the second module, which is, we get so many questions. What kind of camera should I use? Lighting, audio, hair, makeup, background, all of those things that will prevent somebody from pushing the record button. we're not going to give you any excuses to not push the record button.
And let me just speak to that, because I want people to know that you can now do things yourself. That's the thing. I was joking in the beginning of this about I'm the technical director and I'm switching the cameras and stuff. But you really, in the world that we're currently in with video content, you can be the jack of all trades. You can be the host. You can be the producer. You can be the technical director. You can be the hair and makeup. You can be the lighting. You can be the audio. And not to take away from the fact that there's amazing productions out in the world and you can do shows that way. And we will be having some hosts who do those shows, but also you can do it yourself and you can create content. When I first started doing my videos, this show as well as guided meditations, I cannot tell you the number of people who texted me saying, what are you using for a camera? What are you using for lighting? How are you doing your audio? Because people just don't really know how to get started. And so I think that's so important in this boot camp to get that information across. So I'll give a little bit of that, but then you said you have Jason Palmer is going to be one of our guest experts, correct?
Yes. And then I'm also onboarding Scott and Stephanie, and they are just the embodiment of regular people who have a passion, and they have pretty much killed social media. So they have the strategies for somebody who's interested in really becoming that social influencer to, have very specific guidance from them on how they did it. So they realize.
And these tell me a little bit about them. They are Instagram influencers they're going to be guest experts.
Stephanie's platform is Cupcakes. Scott is he's got one called Grilling Fools, and literally their platforms have almost 1 million followers, and they have not bought followers, like they have earned their audience. And so they're going to also share very valuable information on how to do this. So, because we're out networking and meeting so many fantastic experts, these type experts are going to cycle in and out of our boot camps that we'll be running on a regular basis.
Bo, you have so much expertise in SEO and keywords and all that. Tell me what is missing in the world right now in video.
I'm getting a little delay. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last part?
Yeah, tell me what is missing in video content.
What's missing in video content? Well, it's not necessarily what's missing. It's being able to recognize the trends before they blow up, right? So when you look at things from a data-driven standpoint, not only are we looking at what the overall search volume is, but we're actually looking at where the trends are starting to happen. So you can look at the data by overall volume, or you can look at by rising month-over-month trends. So when you look at things that way, you'll find out exactly, to answer your question, what is missing on all the video platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and so forth. So again, all this, I know these are really nerdy answers, but I like to take all the guesswork out of social media, because again, there's so many little things that add up to paint the bigger picture with the stuff that they all need to be in sync and well oiled together. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. We're going to find out what's missing via the trend and research when we look it up.
But I love the nerdy answer, because that's so incredibly important, because I think people are missing that part of it. They're just creating sort of willy-nilly and not really getting the numbers that they're looking for, and that's part of it. So you want to know all of that.
For example, a great example, those posture correctors, right? They're all over the place now. But if you are actually looking at the data in searches and trends, you would recognize that trend 3-4 months before it happened. And then the growth from that point forward was exponential. So with a lot of these, it's like building real estate, right? If you built real estate or bought a house in the 70s and 80s, like you can't lose, right? So I think a lot of what's happening in video right now, it's kind of that same analogy. It's like you have this ability now to build real estate on the internet, and you can build it for free. And once you build it, it's always there. And if you do it the right way, similar to rent, it will continue to generate leads, income, your message to save the world, whatever your goal is. But that's the analogy that I like to use. It's this really interesting time on the internet where these next generation video platforms like Spotify, et cetera, are coming about. And it's always the early adopters on these platforms that are the ones that end up doing the big deal. So yeah, that's where we steer our users towards.
And one of the things we're going to talk about, if you were watching live or whether you're watching us on the replay, that you noticed that happened is we had a little technical problem. And so I, being a 25-year veteran of being live on television and now I don't know, 2-year veteran of being live on Facebook, I knew how to fix that. And so I simply put Bo up solo so that I could run and grab my headset, plug it in, and that took away that echo. So we're going to teach you some of those things in the boot camp as well, as how do you handle problems, because there's nothing worse or scarier than having technical difficulties when you're doing stuff and not knowing how to handle it. And those are just little intricacies that because we have the experience that we have in all sorts of different fields that we can help talk about. Okay, so let's go on to this is a 4-week, by the way, 4-week course, 2 times, Tuesday and Thursdays. So we'll have 4 different modules that we're going through. So Debra, talk to us about some of the other stuff we're going to see in some of the later weeks during this boot camp course.
Yeah, well, definitely, just I keep saying that Well World TV is now at the gateway. So it's literally the 4 phases that you have to move through, not have excuses or barriers. So we're often our biggest roadblock is ourselves. And so we're going to obliterate the roadblocks, because once you move through the first phase and the second phase, it's time to push the record button, and you don't need camera crew. All you need literally is what we're doing right now. So we're using an app called StreamYard. This is going live, but you can pre-record your episode. You can add branding. We're going to teach you all of that, because we don't want you to have any more roadblocks to sharing your message. So the third part is, yes, you're going to push the record button. You're going to send us back your first segment, and you will get one-on-one coaching. We're going to take a look at all of your videos and give you guidance specifically on all of those things that you learned in phase 1 and phase 2. And then you're going to record your next 4 videos, and you will graduate with 5 very professional, high-level strategic videos that will immediately, if you want to work with us going forward as a host, will rest within the Well World TV space, but also you can upload it into your own space. And then finally, the last is more educational on the world of video and the modern landscape of video and video marketing, because everything is changing. When Laura and I launched into the world of television, it was very different than what it is now. And it was a long shot that you could actually be featured or have your own show or do something like that. But we're all those barriers are removed. So you have Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And then, yes, when you're ready and we think you're ready and you're ready, we'll help you put together a pitch kit, and we'll go knock on the door at some networks. I was invited to the OWN network to pitch a show concept. So it is possible, because if I can do that, I know that you can do it. So it's literally, we want to help you remove the barriers, get the training that you need. So when you do take the time and investment to create video, it's delivering exactly what you want.
Right. And then Bo, in that sense, can help us with what are people watching? What are they searching for online? What type of video content? So we know what's trending and what's out there.
And the sound. So I'm also going to, so I don't know, a lot of you don't know this, but I actually taught audio engineering at NYU for about 10 years. So the whole sound aspect as well, compression, EQing, there's a couple of little tweaks that you can make with your microphone and how it's processed that really sets you apart from everyone else. And there's such easy things to do. Again, nothing on its own is rocket science. It's just taking all the little pieces, adding them up the right way, the most efficient way for your time.
Okay, you can come over, because I've got my studio mic right there. So you can come over and you can, it's a Rode, R-O-D-E. So you can come over and tweak that. So so that's great. So yeah, that's a couple of things just to reiterate here that we're going to be talking about how to, if you, beyond just being in the, Facebook and YouTube and on your own channel and in the Well World platform, having your videos, but also going bigger with them. So taking them to what's called the OTT space. OTT stands for over the top, and it means you're cutting the cord of your cable box. So there's all these different OTT streaming networks that you can get on the smart TVs like Vizio and Roku that have their own, people have their own shows now. And I think a lot of people who don't really know much about the landscape of television and digital don't understand that there is so many places to get your content right now, but you just got to start somewhere. And that somewhere is within this boot camp. And as Debra mentioned, you're going to get 5 videos. So it's not just coming in and learning and getting all the information and everything we're talking about, but you're actually going to leave this boot camp with 5 videos that you can put on anywhere you want, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Well World. So that's something that's very special and very different, because when I was coming up as a host in LA, that didn't exist for me. I went to hosting classes and I maybe got, a 30-second clip that I could put on a sizzle reel, but I didn't have videos that I could take out into the world. And what's very important, and we're going to talk about this as well in the boot camp, is you are an expert. If you have a blog, if you have a PhD, a certification, if you've written a book, whatever you have in the world, whatever you've done, you are an expert. And the media needs experts. They need people to come on and talk about stories that are in the news, pretty much everything, holidays. I mean, I could go on to this topic forever. And so that makes you an expert. So we're going to teach you how to become that expert, and you need video. So when somebody is looking at you and saying, oh, okay, you can come on and, sure, you can teach Lori, you can come and talk about meditation and how to do meditation and why it's good for you. But what makes you a meditation expert? Well, here's my YouTube, my last guided meditation. Take a look. Okay, well, what makes you, Bo, you're an expert in SEO. What makes you an expert? Well, Bo is going to have his little 1 minute, 2 minute video that he can just share with the people who book you, because a little secret is that people who are booking you, they want to see video content of you. So you've got to have your video out there.
And if I could just add, a video content with more than like 14 views. So part of what we teach with the marketing standpoint, it's not just about creating good content, because people always ask me, can I just run ads to my stuff? And you have to work backwards. You have to have a great brand, you have to create great content, and then amplify that great content with paid traffic if you're interested in that. And if you can do all those things, it does help tremendously in kickstarting like the YouTube algorithm, and at minimum will give you that nice, they're all organic reviews, they're targeted your audience, and if you do it the right way, again, it should convert into either business leads or in amplifying your message to make the world better. So it's there's a lot of moving pieces that we connect for everyone.
Yeah, this is so comprehensive, this boot camp. So Debra and Bo, let's answer this question. Who is this for?
I actually was trying to say, I need to say this. I need to say this. So you see, you are psychic. I was just thinking, because I don't want people to be intimidated if they've never actually been on video before. So this boot camp is available to anybody. So really the key components to success is you just hold that desire to share your voice in a bigger way. You don't have to know all the logistics of all of this stuff, because that's what we're going to teach you. So there is more information on our landing page. So this will give you an idea of everything that you're going to walk through, but literally anybody can join us. And just to give you an idea, we have a physical therapist in there. We have doctors. We have business people that want to do business coaching. We have spiritual people who want to share a more positive message in that way. We have educators. And so it really doesn't matter what industry you're in. You just have to hold that desire to share your voice in a bigger way, and you are welcome. And we want you to get there, because what will happen, this is what I see happen, because over the last few weeks on Well World TV, we've seen some brand new hosts go live. And, I always tell people I'm working with, if you're not a little embarrassed of your first video that goes out there, you waited too long. So, is it going to be perfect right out of the gate? Absolutely not. But here's what happens. You push that record button. You do that several times. You're in a safe space with us. You're never going to feel embarrassed or you weren't good enough. And all of a sudden your confidence starts to go up. Your poise goes up. Your interviewing skills go up. Your conversation level goes up. And all of a sudden you're like, damn, I am good. I should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, because, listen, I've been on TV for 15 years, but doing this all I'm on my own and being live on Facebook, I'm used to having, directors and technical directors and stage managers and telling me where to go and what to do. So this has definitely been a learning curve. So this really can help everybody from the complete novice to people who already know what they're doing as well. So you definitely want to get in on this. And most important, as we said, this is not just, even though it's being run through Well World TV, we have experts who run the gamut of everything from hosting to marketing to monetizing to SEO. And this is for everybody. So you don't just have to be a host who wants to do wellness content or holistic content. It can be fashion, beauty, whatever it is that you want to put out in the world. There's so much to be learned here. So this is the info on how you can register. You can go to that link. You can also learn lots more. You can reach out to us as well if you want. You can drop a comment in this if you need questions answered, because we will see your comments. And we're excited for this. So it's starting June 23rd, and we hope you will join us. And we'll be excited. We already have a lot of hosts on it, so we're really excited to get started. Anything else, guys, I'm missing?
Nope. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody in class. It's going to be a very positive, safe environment where you can really start to show up in a different way in the world. So I just look forward to welcoming all of our students into that.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Debra, and thank you, Bo, and thank you for joining us live on Wake Up Well. And I will be back next week, and we'll be talking next week about how to build your brand through community. So check out next week's show, 9 a.m. on Facebook Live on the Well World channel. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.